And we are live. What's going on, everybody? Welcome to Wednesday Metal Mania. Hope everybody's doing all right. Keith, how you doing? Jim, how you doing?
What's up, guys?
Good to see
Jim
you.
Thompson, Keith. What's up, guys? StreamYards. How you doing?
The message just went out, so we'll probably get a couple.
Yeah. Silver dropped again today.
Yeah, I saw that. Hang on, I got an echo in there.
Dropped again today.
Yeah, I saw that. All right, we good. We good.
23. Well, it's 23. I think it was like 2308 or something like that.
Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah, I better get into it now because the way things are looking for the second half of the year.
I'll tell you something, though. Triple P ain't winning that bet.
Nah. Well, I don't know now. I'm starting to wonder because the outlook for we were going to talk a little bit about that. The outlook for more banks falling in the second half are pretty good odds.
Yeah. More banks are gonna hit, but it ain't really gonna make a difference unless it's a big bank. If it's these little banks, I think if Goldman Sachs or J.P. Morgan or Bank of America or TD Bank or any of those banks, Chase is J.P. Morgan, big banks, Berkshire Hathaway, if banks like that were to take a crap, I think we got a lot to worry about. But these little banks, these little county banks, or state only in so many states bank. Because I've never heard of Silicon Valley Bank. I never heard of Golden Gate Bank. I've never heard of half of those. And of course, something's going to happen in the stock market when a bank like that collapses. But I don't see it really. They got to be big freaking banks. You know what I mean? Like, we came close with that Credit Suisse there.
Susie?
That one. Whatever it was. Susie. What's it called? Swiss. Whatever. That one was a big bank.
Yeah. Who bailed that one out? Somebody bought it or bailed it out.
Or probably J.P. Morgan or Bank of America. One of those big banks. They probably bought them out.
Yeah.
They're the ones that's going to buy everything out. Those humongous banks.
Yeah, amazing how that works, huh?
Yeah. But I don't know. I don't see it hitting 30, man. Because why is this dip makes no sense? Why would we be having a dip right now? It should be going up with everything that's happening. The economy hasn't gotten better. Prices haven't gotten better. Banks are still taking a crap. The stock's still taking a crap. So why the hell is gold and silver dropping like this? That's what doesn't make sense. So I don't see it hit. I definitely don't see it hitting 30. I don't even think
not unless it hits the fan in the second half of the year.
I don't see it happening. I think even if there's 4 other banks that collapse, I still don't think silver's going to hit 30 this year.
See, here's the thing, though. Here's the one thing about those bank failures. You got to figure fear. You got to count on fear. And, I mean, that if that gets out to investors, that could really, really swing the momentum towards higher prices and precious metals. That's the only thing I'd be worried about.
Yeah.
It's panic. It's the FOMO. It's FOMO. It's panic. That's what the last one was. Think about it. Nobody knew what Silicon Valley Bank was, but they all went out and bought silver.
Yeah.
Imagine if you have a bunch of them failing all at once. Can you only imagine what's going to happen then?
Yeah. If we have a lot of banks take a crap at the same time, it'll definitely. Well, I mean, when those 3 banks collapsed in the beginning of the year, that's what caused silver and gold to jump up. With many other reasons also that caused it to jump up, but that didn't help matters.
No, well, I mean, you got to figure depositors were withdrawing their money so fast. The bank went insolvent like in 5 hours. You know,
But I still don't think we should be having a dip right now.
no,
What's going on?
I think what it is, it just went back to normal after all that panic from Silicon Valley. So SVB they were based mostly on crypto
Oh
transactions.
yeah, all
They had a
digital.
lot of crypto involvement. And we
Yep.
all know what crypto's been doing over the last year and a half. It's been crap.
Mm-hmm.
If you have the right ones, some of them are doing. I think Bitcoin is recovering a little bit. I know altcoins are doing pretty bad.
Well, that's Bitcoin. Bitcoin always usually bounces back. It's the other coins you got to worry about. That's why I really don't get that far out into other little coins, because they're just going to end up like, you know, disappearing. So I usually stick to the, maybe the top 10, top 20 coins. Bitcoin, Ethereum. I love Cardano. Um, there's quite a bunch of other ones that are.
Yeah, I'm carrying Cardano, Solana, and Algorand right now.
Yeah, Solana and Algorand, they've been holding their own, but no
Well,
coin's gonna be like
Algorand,
Bitcoin.
2 years ago, not even 2 years ago, Algorand was trading at $2.40 some odd cents per token per coin, and right now it's down to 20 cents.
It's time to
So
buy.
if I would have cashed out back then, I would have had a small fortune.
Yeah,
But you never thought it was going to be that bad, where it dropped down to 20 cents.
yeah, no, that's like
So
Bitcoin. It was at 70,000, and then it went down to freaking the
what,
teens.
the teens, I believe, right?
Yeah,
19, 18, 17,
yeah.
somewhere in there.
Everyone was saying it was going to go to 100. It was going to go to 200, and of course, all those predictors out there came up and said, "Oh, when we predicted it's gonna be this and this and this and this," just like the same thing with silver and gold. They see silver goes up, and everyone's like, "Oh, it's gonna be $40 an ounce. It's gonna be $50 an ounce by the end of the year. It's gonna be 35. It's gonna be, that." But when silver and gold or crypto is down, ain't nobody predicting prices.
Yeah, yeah. Except for Keith Newmeyer.
Oh yeah.
Keith and his $100 silver predictions.
It's gonna be $10,000 in 1 month. You better buy it now.
Look, I know there's some content creators out there that love First Majestic and bringing Keith Newmeyer on board for interviews. But let's face it, if you're bringing Keith on board, you already know what you're getting, and that's just to create that friggin' it's gonna hit 100 triple digit silver. That's why you brought him on in the first place, because
100.
he tells people what they want to hear.
I'm saying 5,000
May
next
as
month.
well. You may as well. It's just as
Next month,
realistic as
SmackDown.
it's just as realistic as 100.
The only thing I have to say good about First Majestic, one thing, I do like their 10-ounce bars.
Yeah, you got to find them though.
Scottsdale makes them though.
I believe so.
Scottsdale made them, and I believe Geiger also made them. They subbed it out one time to Scottsdale. They made some First Majestic 10-ounce bars, and then Geiger did them.
Yeah, yeah. First Majestic, what a train wreck. Guy buys a friggin' gold mine from another guy who bought it in a bankruptcy court. Gave him 42 million in shares just to get the mine, and it operates in the red ever from day one. Real smart, real smart.
He's not smart.
And
Listen,
they kept running it year after year, hoping it would turn a damn profit, and it didn't. They kept mining and mining and mining, and it was too expensive.
I wouldn't invite him on my channel.
No, hell no.
Unless he's paying me, I'm not going to invite him on.
No.
And people just do interviews with him for free. For free.
Yeah.
I'll do it, but you better pay me.
I wouldn't discredit my channel with him, to be quite honest. I mean, God bless you, other channels that want to interview Keith Newmeyer, but I wouldn't even have him trashing on the channel.
I'd like to interview that one guy. I forgot his name. He's Asian American.
Oh, Dave, the rich dad, poor dad guy. What's his name?
Forgot his name. Takasaki. I don't know.
Something. He's a damn good economist, but he's
Shalom,
missing.
shalikum, shalom. I don't know what his
Yeah, I
name.
don't know. He's a good economist, but he's missing the boat on silver.
He's missing the boat on silver and gold. He's a huge pumper, type deal. But I do like his, when he starts talking politics. I like his thinking, his entrepreneur, how he builds businesses. The guy came with nothing and built an empire. The guy is a smart dude, but he's just like Keith Newmar. Silver is going to be 1,000 per ounce by 2025, and we all know that's just a bunch of BS. We'll be lucky. We'll be lucky if we see $100 silver. And listen, I love silver like the next guy, like the next person. I love silver. I love gold. I believe in it. If I didn't believe it, I wouldn't be stacking it. I wouldn't be buying it. I wouldn't be, throwing my money into it. But I don't think we're going to see $100 silver for at least 10 to 15 years.
I was thinking 15, 20, but who knows?
Yeah. I think 10 to 15 years we'll see that. Unless, like you said, if all the banks take a crap and we're in really dire straits here, then I can, see it. I mean, it's going to happen, but the question is when. And everyone's trying to say, "Oh, now." It's not going to happen now.
Keith nailed it. It's Robert Kiyosaki. That's who it is.
Yeah, he's got an American
Robert
name.
Kiyosaki or something like that.
Yeah, he's got an American name, but his last name's Japanese or Chinese.
Good dude. Hey, look, he's a good dude. I would have him on the channel before I had Keith.
Oh yeah, I would have him on
because he does have a clue, but he's lost with the silver and gold. I don't know why he's bothering.
Yeah.
Kiyosaki, that's it.
Maybe it's just a way to get more people involved.
Maybe. Maybe. I don't know.
I'd rather
Newmeyer's lost off credibility at this point. I don't even. Whenever I see his name on another channel, I'm not bothering. He's going to come out and say, it's going to hit triple digits. Just got to bide your time.
There's another guy like that too, like him, but not with gold and silver, with cryptocurrency. I forgot his name, but he's the same guy with same type of thing. Like Bitcoin's going to be $1 million by 2025, 2030. Buy it now. And come on, get realistic.
Here's the thing. I mean, I'm going to be honest. None of we put out content. We have channels. I watch other channels, but there's not a single other channel that's going to influence me in what I buy because I'm on a set schedule. I'm on a DCA. I buy at same day every week. I buy whatever's available to me and whatever I like. And I'm, watching a channel and bringing on some silver pumper is never going to change the way I do. That's just not.
Yeah. But I have to say, I'd rather hear a silver pumper than someone that talked crap about gold and silver.
Oh yeah, what's his name? Dave Ramsey. Dave Ramsey just
what's that guy on TV? What's that guy on TV? He takes phone calls from people and they ask him financial advice.
Yeah, take your pick. There's a bunch of them.
There's the one. He's kind of older. He's got a beard, bald, I think.
Yeah, I know who you're talking about. I'm just not sure.
I can't stand that dude, man. He don't even know what he wants to invest in. And everyone's calling him up and like he's the financial guru. Like, dude, gold and silver, no one said it was an investment where you're going to make money. But it's a
here's the thing. I mean, here's the thing. If you got into silver, gold I can understand. Like, I think I don't consider gold as silver. I don't consider silver an investment for sure. Gold to an extent, because like if you get into the pre-33 and the numismatic stuff, I would say that's an investment hoping it goes up.
Well, it's the same thing with silver Morgans and vintage silver. Same idea. If you go, like, if you stick from to bullion or you go to numismatic stuff from silver or gold or vintage is more of an investment than your regular bullion. But what I'm trying to say is that bullion, we buy it to store wealth, to protect our buying power, to hedge against inflation as a savings account, which actually pays us via your savings account at your bank or storing it in, cash where you're not making, you're just losing. Also, even though I believe everyone should have cash at home stored away, but people think, oh, you're investing in it. It's not an investment. Blah blah. No shit. It's not a traditional investment. I like to call it conservative investment.
If you want
It's
to
protect.
invest, that's when you go to stocks and bond. Go to other
Yeah,
stuff,
real estate,
real
stock.
estate. Even REITs. I mean, you can. There's so many other things you can invest in, and that's
Yeah.
quote unquote invest. This isn't one of them.
No, and like I said, but if you're a heavy investor and you want to protect your assets and protect your wealth, if you're a real estate tycoon or you're into cryptocurrency and you're big into that, or in stocks, or in your retirement accounts or investing accounts, you should always have gold and silver and on the sidelines in the back to protect, so you have something to fall back on. You have that protection, because you can lose your properties, you can lose your stocks, you can lose your cryptocurrency, you can lose your cash savings, you can lose all that. Your gold and silver you can't lose.
No.
It's a safe place to store your money. I think everyone should invest store their money in gold and silver.
Here's the
Obviously
thing,
have
though.
some
You don't.
cash
You don't.
savings.
Some people make the mistake of making it too much of their savings and their investments, and
Oh no, you can't dump.
you
You
can't
got to
you can't put all your
diversify.
eggs in one basket. And I see a
You
lot
got
of
to,
people.
yeah.
I asked one guy one time. I said, "You have a lot of metal." I said, "What do you think for the percentages of your total portfolio?" He said, "Well, I did the math on it. It's probably about 70%." I'm like, "Oh, 70% is metals.
That's crazy.
That's way too high. Way too high."
I don't exactly go by percentages,
I don't
but if
either, but you don't want that percentage to outweigh your actual investments.
exactly, but if I had to put a percentage on precious metals, I would say anywhere from 10 to 15%.
Mm-hmm.
That's my, if I were to put a
That's a
percentage.
common average. That's pretty much what anybody any financial advisor will tell you, 10 to 15%
Yep. Yep.
metals. And
But
and if I start getting higher in metals than everything, so I'll balance it. I'll get more in this. I'll buy more stocks. I'll invest more. I mean, you have to balance it out.
yeah, and who knows? You could be a multimillionaire where 10 to 15% is, you're putting millions in a year into precious metals. So it depends
Mm-hmm.
on if you're only making, say, 40 grand a year, your average wage, I guess, for most people, 30 to 40, 10 to 15% is not much at all,
No,
really.
no.
But if you're making, quite a bit of money, and everybody's different, but you got to be diversified. I'm big into
Absolutely.
real estate and
Absolutely.
houses, precious metals. I have Roth account, IRAs. I mean Roth IRAs, SEP accounts, investing accounts. So I'm diversified. Cryptocurrency, Bitcoin, Cardano. Um, you got to be you got to hustle. You got to spread it out. I know people. I've heard stories from my local coin shop where people were selling their houses, or taking cash loans on their houses and buying metals with it.
Which, if you think about it, all you've done is add to the length of your mortgage, the length of what you're going to pay.
Yeah,
And so whatever you bought in metals,
and
you just,
interest.
yeah, and interest, you just washed it out. And matter
Yeah,
of fact, you probably ended up owing more.
yeah.
So that'd be the worst thing you could do. And I'm with you. I've known people to take out loans just so they could stock up on gold. And I'm like,
Listen,
why the hell would you? I said, what's your interest rate on that personal loan? Well, it's like 7-8%. I'm like, Jesus,
yeah.
come on. You got to use your head. I said, what's the term? What's the length? 5 years. All right, do the math. Do the math and then do the math. You better pray that gold you bought goes skyrocketing, because you just lost everything before you friggin' even settled it into your
Yeah.
safe.
I mean, it's one thing if you have multiple properties, you got a little shack, you sold it for 150 grand, and you have other investments, you have other properties, and you want to take that money because you fully own it and you want to dump it into gold and silver.
Yeah,
If you have other
if I
things,
have 2 acres that I'm not using, I'm not going to use it. I have no, I can sell 2 acres if it's not, that's not a big deal. I can take that 2 acres and turn it into gold and silver, because that's not part, I'm not counting that against anything. You know, I'm not.
Yeah,
It's not putting me in debt to sell that 2 acres.
exactly. And that's what people should be doing regardless. You don't put the money that you need for your bills, money that you might need, into metals or into investing accounts or into real estate or into cryptocurrency. You put the extra money that you have at the end of the week, end of the month, end of the year into your savings, into your investments.
Or in
Don't
your debt, or in
invest.
your debt. Pay off your debt.
Yeah. Well, that's what I meant. Don't invest or save until your debts are paid. If you got a credit card out there and there's a $5,000 balance, pay it off before you save. You buy, because there's no sense of saving or buying, because you're just racking up interest on your card. Pay it off. Pay off your debts. Now, like mortgage, that's we're not worried about a mortgage. You know, that's long term. You pay that in time. I'm not considering that really a major debt, because I'd say 50. Well, how many people in America? What's the percentage of homeowners in America? Well, let's say 70%. Out of that
I don't
70,
even think it's that high.
yeah. Well, let's say 60% or 50%. Out of that 50%, I guarantee you, 45% of them have a mortgage, if not more. Probably 48% of them have a mortgage payment, either a 15 to a 30-year note. Only a small fraction have their houses paid off, and usually they're older, or they're, rich. Um, I don't really count a mortgage as a typical debt.
Well, here's the thing though, and you're on a point that needs to be brought up. Bear in mind that the first 5 years of the mortgage, you're paying. You're not paying into
Principal.
your principal. You're paying
No,
the
you're not
friggin'
paying. Yeah.
You're paying the premium.
Yep.
And then once the premium's paid off, the bank the lender gets their money. They're good. Now you start
Lender
paying
gets
off
their
the
money
house.
first. The lender gets their money first. That's
Absolutely, and
right.
that's because if you default, they get the house and they got their money.
Yeah.
So
That's
a
why
lot, if you're carrying a mortgage, that's not. I'm like you. I don't consider that a debt, because the premiums on this house have already been paid.
Mm-hmm.
The interest is already paid. So every
Well,
time a check is written, it's going right to principal.
it's a common debt. You know what I mean? Everybody that's a homeowner has that debt. So I'm not counting that as like a credit card, which can bury you. A personal loan or a major loan can bury. I'm not talking, like the house, whatever. It takes time. But what I recommend, if you can do a 15-year note, do the 15-year note. And every year, instead of paying 12 payments, pay 13.
Yep.
Even if you have a 30-year note. If instead of paying 12 payments, I mean, some people can only manage the 12 and barely manage the 12, but try to pay a 13 payment. If your mortgage is $2,500 a month, at the end of the year, give them 5,000. It takes off 7 years off the 30-year note. You know what I mean?
Yep.
If you do that, it takes off quite a bit of years if you do that if you keep doing that for your note. So your 30-year note will turn into a 23-year note, or your 15-year note. It's not 7 years for a 15-year note, but your 15-year note will turn into a 12-year note. If you just make an extra payment, and that might not seem like much, but it really is. And it's the same thing with your vehicles. It's the
Oh
same
yeah.
thing if you
Oh
go
yeah.
buy a
For sure.
car.
For sure.
You know, make that extra payment, set that extra amount of money at the end of the year, and or what you do, which makes it even better. So say if your mortgage payment is, say, $1,500 a month, give them $1,600. So by the end of the year, you gave them $1,200, or give them
Yep.
125 or something. Add an extra 100 onto the note. It's
It's probably a lot easier to do it that way than add an extra payment.
yeah. A lot of people do it that way. I just give them an extra payment at the end of the year, but yeah, no, it's people can do that too. That
Yeah.
extra $100, you ain't gonna miss it. It's whatever, but it'll count and it'll knock some years off.
Supreme. I'm gonna get to yours in a second, but Judith and Dan, yeah, they started getting debt free and stacked a year's worth of food, then precious metals.
I'll shoot you an email, Ginger.
That's the way to do it.
I'll shoot you an email, Ginger. I have to look.
Patriotic's always buying if it's the right price.
Um,
Hey,
do you guys
JK.
hear about the announcement today. I guess DeSantis is running for president.
Yeah,
I
shocked.
called it.
We were shocked. Said no one ever.
I called it. Yeah. Just remember, guys. Obviously, when it comes to there's only going to be two people at the end, and they're going to fight back and forth until they're going to, someone's going to win out of those two. But
Yeah.
at the end of the day, I'm going to vote Republican, regardless who's up there. As long as it's not a rhino. But just watch out for Ron DeSantis. I like him. He's a good governor. I like a lot of the things he's doing. But there's some deep, dark secrets with that guy.
If you're a politician, that applies to all of them.
Yes, but he's taking funding, that money, that his $250 million he's got left over from campaign. Look up at his main donors who donated most of that money. The same companies, the same elite globalist monsters that he hates, supposedly, is where he's taking the money from. They're
Dude,
donating
it's
money.
for every politician, for every damn last stinking one of them. Follow the money, and you'll find out exactly what their agenda is.
Oh, yeah. Well, that's why, dude, I like Trump, man. He used his own damn money.
Yep. So
He used his own money. He didn't take a dime from nobody. But, yep, he's running. And listen, at the end of the day, if he gets the nomination, if he's up there with Joe Biden or whoever, I'm going to vote for him. But,
well, I mean, you might not have much of a choice.
Well, that's the thing. If it ends up just him,
if it came down to Biden and him, I mean,
I'm voting for DeSantis. I like DeSantis. I just think there's some things there and certain things that threw me off. And say if DeSantis and Trump make it up there, I'm voting for Trump. My eyes are on Trump the whole way through. But if Trump doesn't make it, I'll vote for Ron. I'll vote for Mike Pompeo. I'll vote for any of the Republican nominees. If besides Mike Pence, I won't vote for him. If it was Mike Pence and Joe Biden, I wouldn't vote at all.
I lost respect for Pence, and he's a fellow Marine.
Oh yeah, he just did it to keep his job, man. That's it.
Screw him. Screw him. But anyway, moving on. Welcome to everybody that just came in. We got B2, he's in. AG's here. Copper Mutant, we didn't say hello. JK is in the house. Welcome everybody. Welcome. We just started off talking a little bit about a little bit of politics out of the way, but moving on. Spot price. What are we looking at today? 23 and change?
Yeah, it was 2308 or something like that. It was crazy.
It is 20. It's right now sitting at 23.30. Gold has dropped all the way to 1970. Holy hell. Went from an all-time high like nothing and dropped down right back to where it was like nothing ever happened.
I think silver's getting more hit than gold, though.
Well, silver has the opportunity to actually outperform gold in more ways than one. Of course, not overall value-wise, but silver can beat gold in quite a few different ways.
Yeah.
I think you have a better shot at turning over silver than you do with gold.
Yeah. I just filmed my unboxing today. I didn't upload it yet, but I got it was all mailed in. I got it all of it today. I'm surprised they were able to stuff it all in the mailbox, but it ended up being 98 point something ounces in total. I didn't know I bought that much within that week. It was 1 week, dude. I bought a Johnson Matthey kilo. I bought an IGR kilo. I bought 2 IGR 10-ounce bars, and I bought 20 phase value of Walker halves.
God, it's Supreme said gold is at 1958.
Oh yeah, it's going.
Yeah, it's going to vary from site to site. But 1958. Jeez.
I never understood that either with the sites. You'll go on Monument Metals and it'll say 2308. You go on Atmex and it'll say 2360. And you'll go on Kitco and it's 2320. You know what I mean? Like, it's different everywhere. It's weird. Not by much. It's all in that same ballpark, but they're off by, man, I've seen some that were off by like 40 cents.
Yeah.
It's weird.
Oh, we got a couple new additions here. We got Slowthorpe 76, SGT in the house. How'd your auction go, buddy? I was just there. We were at a restaurant when you started. I wish I could have stayed. We got Stewart. Who else we got in here? Yeah, we got a couple of new folks here. But yeah, I would have stayed at SGT's auction, but we were out to dinner.
I forgot he was doing it today, or I would have been there.
Yeah. But I mean, it's just, like I said, I'm going to buy every week regardless of the spot price. So
I'm the same way.
It doesn't. I mean, it doesn't matter. At least not to me when I'm buying anyway. Now, if it got crazy, I'd have to reevaluate.
Yeah, like if silver just jumped up to $50 an ounce, obviously I'm not buying a tube of maple leafs.
No.
I'm not buying a 10-ounce bar. I'm not buying no kilo. If it jumps up to that right there, I would be like, okay, I built up a huge silver stack, a huge gold stack. I think I'm good. And then I'll switch into like vintage or numismatics. I'll start dabbling more with that stuff. But yeah, as long as it's low, even if and $30 is low to me. I keep on buying because I know it's long term. I know silver and gold is undervalued. I know it's very, very manipulated, and I stack it.
Has been for decades.
Yeah, I stack it and I throw it in the safe, and there it is. You know what?
Mm-hmm.
Everyone's like, oh, it's silver's high right now. When we had this, silver at 25 an ounce, and gold was at 2,060, whatever. I was still buying. Now was I going crazy? No, but I was still buying like any other average day or average week or month or whatever. I just can't sit back and not buy.
No.
You never say, oh, I'm going to stop saving money. No, you want to save. You want to try to save a little money every week, right? Or every month. You want to take a couple $100 out.
Somebody is really whacking that heart. What the hell? Somebody's having fun clicking on the heart.
Oh, yeah?
Thing's going crazy.
There you
go. Emerald Coast, how you doing? Check Stacker, what's up?
How you doing, guys? Slowthorpe, I haven't seen him in a while. How you doing?
Yeah. See, here's the problem, though. The premiums, some of them have come down, some of them, but definitely not on Eagles. Very little change, if any.
It's just funny. I just was on Facebook on one of the bullion groups, and guy was He was selling sealed tubes of Eagles for $660.
Damn, that's a good price.
That wasn't bad. I thought. I was like, because I'm used to seeing $750, right now, and he was selling sealed tubes for $660. And me being a dick, I commented and I said, sealed? If they're sealed, how are you opening them? Because in the picture, they're out of the tubes, right?
Yeah. I mean, you got people are going to catch that stuff.
Yeah.
People are going to catch it.
Maybe it was just one of them and he had a couple other tubes or something. But
speaking of which, I was pretty interesting article I was reading today about slab bullion. So not only are the Chinese killing us in fakes, now they're actually copying the slabs. So Morgans, Eagles, you name it. If it's slab, they've got a PCGS slab that looks just like it.
Dragons just did a video on that.
Yep, you got to be careful. I read I saw the pictures myself, and if I hadn't looked at them, and if I wouldn't have scanned them, I can't say. You can look at the coin and you can tell they're Chinese coins are easy to pick out. They're easy. I'm sorry, they're just poor quality. There's a lot of tells that you can see. Especially on the Eagle, they just don't do a great job on it. It looks like crap. But some people, they just buy, and I got these for $20 on Facebook. I said, yeah, and you got robbed. You got ripped off. You
Yeah.
got completely ripped off. I see these Facebook ads all the time. Buy one, get two free. I'm like, really? Really? You actually believe that was true?
Yeah. It's
Give me a
crazy.
break. Give me a break. The counterfeit stuff is out of hand. And I hate to tell you, it's only going to get worse. As metals pick up more popularity, as things get worse in the second half of the year, which I'm convinced it's going to, I think we're in for a whirlwind second half of the year. I really do.
There was a guy, about a few months ago. I was on one of the Facebook bullion sites, and there was a whole uh, post about this guy that bought. It was a rare coin. I think it was a Morgan, high grade Morgan with a CAC sticker. High grade. It was like a 66 or 67 plus or something like that. And it ended up being like a $5,000 or a $10,000 coin. He got it. The CAC sticker was faked. So it was just a CAC sticker in a photo. He must have photoshopped it on the slab. So when he got it, there was no CAC sticker, and the slab, the grade was faked. You got the Morgan. The Morgan was real,
Mm-hmm.
but it wasn't the high grade like it was. It was like a 61. So he spent like $6,000 in between 5 or 10. It was definitely in between 5 and 10 for a coin that was worth maybe $200.
Yeah.
And the funny thing is too, and this is what we should talk about also. So we repeat all the time in our videos: buy from reputable dealers, buy from reputable dealers. I mean, it took me years in order to trust buying from peer to peer, like just fellow stackers like me and you, on Facebook or on Instagram or on
Well,
YouTube.
it's tough to have faith in it. I mean,
Yeah,
the
yeah,
scams are running so damn high right now.
exactly. And then you have people that were good sellers that there
That
was
went
no
south.
issue.
Yep, I've seen it happen.
Yeah,
They were good. They were good as gold until they weren't.
yep, they were good. They had good product, good customer service,
And that's how you set
fast
up a big
shipping.
score. I mean, think about it. That's you
Yep.
do a you carry a pretty good reputation for about 6 months, and then you sell a bunch of stuff or pretend you have a bunch of stuff to sell. You make that big last score, and you go radio silent. You ghost.
Yeah. 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 I've seen that happen a lot. And that's what happened with that guy on that post. It was a reputable dealer, private dealer, and he got screwed over. I stuck to online dealers, local coin shops until 2 years ago. I was like, all right, let me try. Once I started YouTube, I was like, let me try buying from some peer to peer from reputable dealers on Facebook. And you can search, get their references, you can message them, feel them out. Sometimes they'll even ship the product to you first, and then you can pay them. That takes trust on their part, but some of them do that. If they're legit, they'll do that.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so there's things you can do, but you got to watch out for those people that we're good and then they go south, and you don't know when it's going to happen. You don't know if it's going to be you, but it happens. There was one guy that was a really good seller. I've actually bought from him, and he ended up taking somebody for like 20 grand.
Yeah. Who was it? Judith and Dan Davis. They just brought up something I want to kind of expound on a little bit. Have you guys been on the website Timu? Have you seen that? It's a Chinese. It's clearly a Chinese website selling Chinese stuff. There is an ungodly amount. I mean, you name it, they fake it. Eagles, maples, gold, silver, half dollars, commemoratives, you name it, they have faked it, and they're selling this stuff. And it just irritates the hell out of me that somebody's going to go on there without doing their research, and they're going to just buy this stuff up, and it's going to hit their stack. They're going to sell their stack someday, and they're going to screw somebody else over that doesn't check. Unless you check every coin, you're going to get screwed.
Yeah.
And these things, here's the deal: you're not supposed. I mean, you can make if it's. I mean, they even did platinum, for God's sake. They did platinum eagles, but yet on the coins they don't put copy anywhere, nowhere.
Yeah.
You have to have copy on a copied coin. It's just you're practically counterfeiting.
Well, I mean, I went off on I got this brochure from Bradford Exchange.
No, I can't stand those
Yep.
thieves.
and it was like the V75 Eagle, right? And they said, oh, pure silver, 3/9 fine, pure silver, blah 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 blah. 3 payments of $20-something,
Yeah,
or
yeah.
4 payments of $20-something. And I was like, wow, if this is actually real, that's worth it, because those coins, those are big money.
A lot of fakes
And
of them.
it was like the World War II
Oh
anniversary
yeah,
of the Eagle
oh
or
yeah.
something.
The
Come to
privy, yeah.
find out, yeah, come to find out, in small writing underneath the 3/9 fine silver plated,
Yeah.
in
But
small writing.
you realize that
You know what I mean?
some of those guys, they actually steal. I've actually seen a Silver Dragons video as part of their sales pitch. They even stole a drag. They copied us like a Dragons video. You could tell by his
Oh yeah,
hands. You know his hands.
yeah,
And
yeah.
boy, people are just calling him out left and right. And it just, I've been kicked off of more friggin' Facebook ads than you can even imagine, because I call out their bullshit. I'm like,
Yeah.
look, and you could spend all day, reporting them, and they're not. Facebook isn't going to do a damn thing, because
Nope.
Zuckerberg's too busy counting his friggin' millions, or his billions, I
Yep.
should say. Zuckerberg doesn't care. I mean, here's the funny thing: I got banned. I got put in Facebook jail one time. Lauren, you know who it was. It was Todd Ryan. He was doing his took a movie of his fireworks displays last 4th of July, and all I said was light them up, dude. Bam, Facebook jail for saying light them up. They said it was hate speech.
Oh my God.
But yet you'll allow these fake friggin' ads. You know they're fake. If you even looked at them, you'd know. But hey, they're taking that advertiser dollar.
That's funny
That's all they
because
care about.
on Facebook there was, that these phones listen to you. You notice you'll be talking about plane tickets, and then that later on that day, there's a link that pops up for plane tickets.
Oh, of course.
Yeah, it happens all the time. It's like they listen to you, they know what you're searching for, and they throw the ads up. Well, they know that I like gold and silver, right? Well, this subscription company called Aura, and they're legit. They're sending you real shit, okay? It's real gold. But it's a subscription box. You pay them $50 a month to up to $500 a month. It might even be $1,000 now. They might have half-ounce gold bars or whatever. But it was for a 1 gram gold bar. You're paying $50 a month or something. You would pay $50 a month, and when you had enough money, they would send you the bar. And they also mentioned that there's a $15 activation fee, a sign-on fee. So I said, you're telling me all said and done, when you send me that 1 gram gold bar, I would have paid $130, $150 for that.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, but gold is gonna go up and blah 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 blah.
Not that much. Not for that.
No, people do it, and I've even seen these bars going on Boeing Group. People selling these Aura bars, and I'm like I said, they're legit. I think the Combi or Credit Suisse makes the bars for them. It's one of the companies. So it's one of those mince bars, but they slap Aura's name on it. But yeah, you're paying like crazy money, and like their catchphrase is like "get gold to your door," for a monthly fee you won't even notice or whatever. But you're paying. You could do the math. You're paying like double the worth of that for that gold. If you do the 1 gram or the 2 gram or
Yeah,
the
I mean,
five.
all you have to do is the math, and you'll see you're coming out on the short end of the
Yeah,
stick on that. Just do
yeah,
the
it's
math, my
crazy.
God. It's just do the freaking math, and you'll realize you're coming out on the crap end of that one.
Yeah.
When I first started out, I was buying gold little by little from Mike Maloney's website. Silvergold.com, whatever the hell it is. And what they do is you buy the gold and they store it in a vault supposedly. And then once you have certain increments, like an ounce, you can cash it in and they'll mail it to you. Well, I think I saved up to maybe 2 ounces, and then I started getting just really nervous because that's the more research I did on vault and services like that. If they go kaput, forget it. You'll never recover your stuff ever, ever. You could sue all you want to sue. Good luck. So I pulled my stuff out, and thankfully it came safely.
They sent it to you?
Yeah, they sent me two gold eagles.
Oh wow.
Yeah,
That was like
I had saved up 2 ounces, just little by little, buying monthly, just stashing their away in their vault. But here's the thing: they wouldn't let you get anything under an ounce. You had to save up to an ounce. So I'm thinking, so if that's the case, and I'm buying a quarter ounce, what are you putting in the vault?
exactly.
If I'm buying quarter ounces and you can't send me a quarter ounce, what the hell is going in your vault that you're charging me storage for? That's the bullshit right there.
Oh yeah.
There's no metal. There is no metal there. There's nothing being put in the vault, but you're being charged a vault fee by the amount of money that they're holding, by the amount of gold that they're holding. You know damn well, Larry. Look, if you can't send me a quarter ounce, then you don't have anything to give me. I got to wait till I hit an ounce. So you're not putting away a quarter ounce of gold for me. You know you're not. But yet I'm being charged for a vault fee.
Oh yeah, that's like that Monetary Metals. Remember they reached out to me. They wanted to do a sponsorship on me, and I was gonna do it, and then I said call me, and he explained it, and I never hit him back up because it was one of those buy gold through us, we'll store it, or send us your gold, we'll store it, and it was just like you said, if they go belly up, you're crap out of luck. And not only that, say you send them, the minimum's 10,000, right? So you send them $10,000 in gold. They could send you back when you cash out. They could send you back poured gold bars. Like you could send them in 5 buffaloes, which are high premium gold coins. Well, they're generic, they're U.S. bullion, but we know American gold's high premium. And you're gonna get back poured gold bars. You know what I mean? Like it was dumb, and I guess they sell it to companies, and the money goes to mining stocks, and blah 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 blah. It was
some of these companies, you and I had this conversation. Some of these companies where people were buying silver bars, one guy actually sued the company because he went to cash in. He said, "Yep, I'm done. I want my metal," and they're like, "Yeah, we don't actually have it." So they sent him fiat cash at whatever he invested in initially 10 years prior. So the profit he would have made, because let's face it, silver's higher than it was 10 years ago, right?
Yeah.
We can agree on that. So they paid him what he put into it 10 years ago. And then when he asked for the silver so he could sell it, because silver was going for a good rate, they said, well, we don't actually have it. We're going to have to give you fiat cash of what you paid into it 10 years ago. Talk about a friggin' screw job.
Fuck that.
What a screw job. And then he said, you know what? And they were giving him serial numbers and everything of his quote unquote bars in the monthly reporting. Yeah, serial number CX224, stupid crap like that.
Like they don't expect that no one's going to ask for it back.
Well, that's the whole thing. They weren't expecting anybody to actually cash in. But when this guy got suspicious because they couldn't provide information, he said, you know what? I'm done. I'm out. I want my bars. And they said, well, we don't. It turns out in the lawsuit, it came up, they were taking investors' money and they're investing it in other projects. So there was never any physical metal to sell to give back. And that's the crap you got to look out for. You just got to be aware. If it sounds too good to be true, it is.
If you're going to store your precious metals, like I recommend storing it in a good safe at home or in a safe place.
Because you and I both know I don't do safe deposit boxes.
Yep. Safety deposit boxes are terrible.
I don't touch them.
They're not insured at all.
Nope.
Yeah.
They don't even know what's in your box, dude.
Yep. They don't even know what's in your box. God forbid you get audited. The IRS are going right in those boxes. It's a lot of red flags. And like I said, the main thing's not insured. Yeah, your house isn't your metals aren't insured at your house, but you know what? Your home. If you got a good safe and something happens to your house, it'll be put out before your house is in shambles. It's much safer in your home. But if you're gonna store your metals, if you want to store your metals, when you buy from ATMEX, when you buy from SD Bullion, you buy from reputable online dealers, store it in their vaults. SD Bullion has a vault. Scottsdale has a vault. Store them in their vaults. If that's how you want to do it, because at least they're reputable dealers, at least you're buying that specific coin and they're going to store it for you. you know you'll get that when you want it. You know what I mean? If that's how you want to play it and stack it, and you want to store it somewhere safe, store it in their vaults.
Just
But
remember
don't
one key term. If you don't hold it, you may not own it.
exactly. But like I said, if I bought something, I was going to store it, I wouldn't reach out to these so-called storing companies and this and that, or these vaults or whatever. I would store it through reputable online dealers like
Yep.
AppMex or
Yep.
FD, or if I was, and trust me, I've been stacking for 10 years. I haven't stored an ounce in any type of vault besides the vault on my property.
Dude, I still have the first ounce I stacked. It was an American Silver Eagle. It's here.
Yeah.
It's locked up. It's safe and sound. It's here. I'm not storing outside. I'm not going to do it.
Oh yeah, I know people that bury their shit. Fuck that.
Yeah, a lot of people do that. I've actually heard of that.
Yeah.
Just make sure you got,
God forbid you forget about
you
it. God forbid you lost
something
the
happens
spot.
to you and you're the only one that knows where it is.
God forbid there was a tornado or a hurricane that came through, and you had to evacuate, and someone goes and sees it's up, it's been washed out the ground, and there it is. Who knows, man? I don't trust that shit. Or someone has to go, someone's metal detecting in your yard or some shit.
Well, I did a story a long time ago. Last year I did a video, and one of the points I brought up, I was talking to a guy. Wasn't at the coin shop. It was somewhere. It might have been a coin show, not at the shop. And he said, "Yeah, I got about 500 ounces of silver and about 10 ounces of gold." I'm like, "Oh, cool. You just keep it there at the house?" He's like, "Yeah, it's out in the yard, buried in a little. I made a little vault." And I'm like, "Okay." So, how many people know where your gold is? And he said, "Nobody, just me." I'm like, think about that for just a second, if you would. You could be on I-40 tomorrow and have a car wreck. You could, God forbid, something happens to you. You don't make it. The key to where that gold and silver was buried just died with you, and your family can't reap the benefits of it. So why are you stacking if you're not going to let somebody know? You don't even let your wife know. And he just got really quiet, and he's like, "Damn, I never thought about it like that." I'm like,
Yeah.
those are things you got to think about. You got to be smarter than that.
Oh yeah.
You can't be like the
Yeah.
dude in the Charlie Daniels song where you just bury it in mason jars all over the yard, and
Yeah.
you're the only one that knows where it is.
It's one thing if you got like a underground bunker, like people make those little, especially out in the Midwest, they have like those little, bunkers. So when there's a tornado, they have like a little
Mm-hmm.
crawl space. You go out into the yard, you go down this ladder or the stairs, and you're in the ground. You close the hatch, and you got a little backup generator, some water, some food.
Yeah, but how hidden is that? That can easily be found.
Well, yeah, but you got to make sure they're hidden. Some people
All I
build
got
them
to
up.
do to find that door is probably made of metal, which means all I need is a metal detector,
Yeah,
and then I can dig it up.
yeah. The best way is to hide it in your house in a secure, strong safe.
Yeah,
That's my opinion.
I have all the plan. Everything is broken out. Everything is in envelopes in the safe. It explains everything to my wife. If I die tomorrow, all she's got to do, she's got envelopes for my insurance, any accidental and plans that she's entitled to, military, anything, you name it. It's divided in envelopes of how to access everything.
Yeah,
And it's locked in the safe. So if something happens to me, all she has to do is just go to the safe, open up the envelopes. She can get what's entitled to her easily. You got to have phone numbers. You got to have contacts. Does your wife have your insurance information? I mean, she and I are on totally different plans. We're both separate work plans for insurance. She wouldn't know who to call if I died tomorrow. So, just things you got to think about.
no, I'm good. Thank you. Yeah, no, um, no, exactly. There's just gotta, Emerald had a good point. Said, says, God help you if you get dementia.
That's true, though. It's the devil.
Yeah, that actually
It's the,
happened to a family friend. Their dad was hiding money in the house. It wasn't outside. It was in the house. I don't know if he had like a space under the floor or it was in
mm-hmm.
drywall somewhere, but he was supposedly there was like 40 grand in cash that he had at home. Most of his money was in accounts and stuff they got, but they were searching forever for this 40 grand because he had
Yeah.
dementia and he eventually died, and he didn't leave nothing behind him. I think this was like cash that he was kind of hiding from his wife and everybody.
Mm-hmm.
Should I hide some money from my wife? Hopefully she's not listening, but God forbid we get in a divorce. I need to have something. Fuck.
I know, right?
Yeah, but uh, yeah, no, they never found it. Never found it. And I
That's
said, shit,
crazy.
let me get there. I'll help you find it. I
See,
got a
here's the
note
only
for
the only
that.
exception I could see is if you're, if you're divorced or you outlived your wife, your kids are grown, they're out in different areas of the country, and you're living by yourself and whatnot. But you still gotta, or you might not have kids. It might just be you. That's it. You're the only one who knows where the silver and gold is. I don't know. At that point, it's like, why are you even bothering? Just sell it and enjoy it. Because if you pass on or you become incapacitated, what now?
Yep.
At that point, if you're alone and you have nobody to take over or take over those metals, just sell it. Enjoy it. Take a last vacation. Do something. I'm gonna
Yeah.
live it up. I'm gonna live it up. I'm gonna take everything I got and I'm gonna live it up.
Yep.
But I have kids who will hopefully, I won't outlive them. That's every parent's biggest fear. You don't want to outlive your kids. So,
No, absolutely.
and they're gonna, like I said, you and I again. We've talked about my plans. My plans are not to pass down silver and gold. I'm gonna pass down what I buy with silver and gold, and that's gonna be property.
Yeah.
So,
And that,
if they want to sell the cabin in the North Carolina mountains when I'm past, they do what they want.
yeah. And that's what I said to you. Same thing with me. Like I told you, I said most of this stack is for my kids.
Mm-hmm.
I said me and my wife will probably sell a percentage of it and keep it for ourselves. But when the times come to pass it on to my kids, I'm going to take their half of the metals. I'm going to buy a big piece of property on a beach or something, and it'll be lived through generations.
Yep.
My
Yep.
kids, my
That's
grandkids, my
that's the
great
plan.
grandkids,
That's the
and
plan.
that's what I'll do. Because
But here's
if
the
I
thing:
can't,
I'm busting my tail. I'm busting my tail. I'm putting just about. I don't. I don't. I've cut down on things I buy for myself since I started stacking. I buy things that make sense now, whereas back in
yeah,
the day, it was like nothing I bought or spent tons of money on is giving me any kind of a return. Nothing.
yeah,
None of it. So
yeah,
I'm working so hard with stacking. It's just I want to enjoy it. I mean, I want to say, hey, you kids are going to get my gold and silver. That's not the case. Not in my case. I plan on enjoying it. I'm not working this hard for just to say, hey, here you go. I'm working
oh yeah,
hard so I can enjoy something in my retirement and pass that on to them.
mm-hmm.
So I don't. I hope that doesn't come across as selfish, but I'm all this
Yeah.
that I'm doing. You're still going to have property that's worth money.
It's still going to be yours at the end of the day. It's still going to be
Exactly.
the kids at the end of
Exactly.
the day.
And let's face reality. My kids would go to a pawn shop and get screwed
Oh
over.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
Now, my wife is going to know better because if something happens to me in near times here, I've already got my LCS in the instructions where to go. You're only to go to him if you sell my stuff. And my LCS, Lou he's all for it. As long as he's here in this state and he's alive, that's where she's going if I'm gone. So I
yeah,
don't want anybody else touching my stuff other than Lou
yeah,
because I know he'll take care of her.
yeah. Exactly.
So, and I want my kids. AG brought up a good point. I'm teaching my kids, look, this is what I did with saving gold and silver. I spent a little bit of money every week. And look at this beautiful mountain house, this log cabin with a couple acres here. That's what this led to. That's what happens when you stack and you preserve your wealth. We're not going to make a killing on silver. I get it. And I'm so tired of hearing that shit. I get it. I'm not into this stuff to make millions of dollars. It's not like that. That's not
Yep.
what we're here for. I think we'll turn a profit when our time comes,
Yeah.
but I don't necessarily think it's not going to be, $100, $150 silver.
No,
But if it
maybe
is, that's great because that's more I can. But see, here's the thing: what's shit going to cost when silver is up to $150?
I'll do
So
the math. Let's say you got 1,000 ounces. Say you stacked up 1,000 ounces, and your average cost was 25 an ounce. And by the time you retire, it's $50 an ounce. So take 25. So that's doubled. So you made he made what you paid back. So you'll most people will double it. I think by the time if
That's
you're
fine.
young.
And if that happens, that's exactly, even if it doesn't happen, even if I were to break even, I'm still going to be ahead. That's money that's been put away. It's been
Yep.
put, and I know I'm not going to break even. I know it's going to be a little bit higher, but even if I got back what I got into it, it still served the purpose of saving wealth. It preserved wealth. It saved
Better
money.
better than any other way. Yep.
Absolutely. I can't think. You gonna hold it in dollars? No. I mean, do I
Yep.
stack cash? Yes, I do keep cash. I keep it hidden, but I'm not going to hold a bunch of cash at the house either. Just enough
Exactly.
to enough to get through a couple of months if needed, 2-3 months,
Yep.
whatever.
Yep. And that's what I teach my kids. My kids are into the precious metals. Because I teach them and I show them, and my kids are good at saving money. So I'm teaching them responsibility. When it comes to it, because like you said, most kids, they get stuff from their grandparents that was passed down to their parents, and they go right to the pawn shop. Man, they go to the banks with coins, silver coins, and trade them in for cash. They don't even look them up. They don't have the common sense to look at it and be like, wow, doesn't look like the usual coins. Wow, this is white around the whole edges. It doesn't have no brown to it. Wow,
Mm-hmm.
this says 1940. Wow, this says, 1913.
Yep.
No common sense there. They just look, oh, it's 50 cents. Oh, it's 10 cents. Oh, it's 25
Oh,
cents.
remember now, if you handed a mercury dime to 95% of the U.S. population, they're gonna be like, "What you want me to do with this?
Yep.
You just gave me a dime. What you want me to do with this?" They don't know. They don't know. 95% of the population would have no idea that mercury dime is worth more than a dime. 95%. So, that always leads into, if the shit hits the fan, and you think, I got all this constitutional. Good luck.
Yep.
It's not going to be for during the SHTF. It's just not.
Uh,
People are going to be panicked for food, water, medical supplies. They don't want your dimes. They
Check
don't want your
Stacker.
dimes.
Oh, yeah, no, exactly. Check Stacker brought up a good point. Says, I'm passing my stack to split eventually with my kids. I've seen many families broken over squaddles with inherited property. So, what you can do, like obviously, with my stack, I mean, if I can buy 4 summer homes, whatever, that'd be great. But I would buy a magnificent house on the beach with just a beautiful, well-built house that'll last hundreds of years. And you can set up like a trust fund or something. You know what I mean? Where all the kids are entitled to it. If they have to sell it, they all have to agree. Um, you got to, yeah, it could split. We all know inheritances and passing down, especially if you have siblings and your parents had money. It does split families up. But if you raise the kids right, you raise your kids, your family to be, a loving family. Everything's not about money. Um, everything, it depends, but if you're spoiled
Yeah,
and you
see,
think everything's inherited,
I did not
you
spoil my kids growing up.
that's,
I
yeah,
wasn't spoiled as a kid growing up. Believe me, my dad was. I grew up with a militant father, and it was his way or get the hell out. And
right, don't,
to be quite honest, uh, I don't know. My kids know better. My kids
yeah,
know, but
exactly,
they're gonna be busy mourning the loss of their father rather than squabbling over money,
yeah,
because
exactly,
it's not going to matter anyway, because it's all going to be set in stone before
yep,
I go.
yeah,
And
my
to me,
kid,
it's just easier to set up. Here's some property. You three, you got 33.3% ownage. That's it.
yeah,
You
exactly,
get
and that'll be
each
the
of you
same,
owns out of my 3 kids. Each of you owns 33.3% of that
yep,
property.
and that's what it'll be with my kids, you know what I mean?
Easy
And
peasy, cut and dry.
yep, I'll set it all. It's set all in stone. Everything's all set up. Everything gets well. First of all, as long as mommy's still alive, everything goes to mommy.
Of course.
But then it goes on to the kids, and it'll be split exactly. No one gets more. It's all exact, even split between all 4, and they're not going to worry about that. They're not going to. Matter of fact, my kids, I can, even though they're young, but I can tell how they are, how loving they are, and how caring they are, and how just they're probably not going to even worry about that. Their attitude will be like, you know what? I probably don't even want it. I don't want it. I rather work for it, and that's how I'm raising them.
Yeah. Well, hopefully they would take the cabin in the mountains and just say, "Hey, Dad loved it out here. We have emotional attachment to it. We'll just come out here and use it as we want to."
Exactly, keep it in the family, and then they
Or
pass
yeah,
it to their
or
kids.
hey, you know what? If you sell it, you sell it. What I leave to you, you do what you want with it, but
Yeah,
it's going to be
it's
evenly
yours.
distributed.
Exactly, it's yours. And and like I said, I don't think when that time comes, my kids, the siblings will be hating each other and not talking. I think when I'm long gone, I think my kids will be as just as close as they are now.
Yep. I'll tell you, we've got some great people in the chat here, and I feel comfortable saying I'm pretty sure each of you have a plan in case something happens to you. I would say that confidently, seeing this group that we have here, that each of you have a plan in case something happens. I mean, let's face it, tomorrow's not guaranteed. But I do know in the stacking community, there's a lot of people that just buy, no plan, no exit strategy, no nothing. And that's just, it almost defeats the purpose.
Yeah.
If you're not being smart about it, if you're not setting it up, if you don't have a plan, if you don't have a spouse, then maybe a family member, someone else. I mean, you just got to be smart with this stuff. We're spending too much money on these metals to not have a plan. Period.
Yeah.
When I think of all the disposable income I've thrown at this stuff, and if I just go out, click, boom, nobody knows anything, that would be so foolish and a hell of a way to end it.
Yeah.
But this group here is pretty sharp. I know everybody in this group. Well, most of you. There's a couple of new folks that I haven't met yet, but I would be confident in saying most of the group here have a plan in place.
You always got to think ahead.
You really do. You do about so many things, not just metals, everything.
I mean, do you want to be like Walter White? I mean, Walter White didn't think ahead, right? He was a school teacher making minimum wage. His son was disabled. They were just
Mm-hmm.
having a daughter. He was 50 years old. What did he have to do to get money? He knew he was going to die. He had cancer. What do you have to do? He started making meth. Do you want to start making meth like Walter White? Or do you want to
Yep.
have shit and plan?
I'm telling you, man. I'm telling you. You and I talked a couple of days ago about that guy that I'm very familiar with him. He's my age, and he just had a massive heart attack and died. And
Yeah.
he I spoke to his wife a little bit here and there. She's like, "Well, we didn't have everything in place. This was unexpected." And just that is just not the way. I mean, again, he's my age and he is gone. I mean, that could happen to any of us. Maybe not a heart attack, but there's a million ways you can check out.
You can ask my wife, but you know what I do every day? Every day I text her the spot price to gold and silver.
Mm-hmm. I'm sure she
Every
knows
day.
where to look for it as well.
Yeah, she knows, but every day I text it to her. I send her a screenshot, and she's like, "Oh, why you gotta do this every day?" I said, "Well, God forbid I don't make it home one day, and you go to a local coin shop, and the guy when silver is at $30 an ounce, and the guy tells you I'll give you 17 per ounce.
Yeah.
That's what you need to know."
Yeah. I'm
You know,
curious,
so
married guys in this chat. I'm curious. How involved are your spouses? I'm just curious. Mine doesn't care. She's like, yeah, whatever. It's your money. Buy what you want. But in the end, it's for both of us. I mean, I'm doing this for both of us, but she doesn't really has no interest in it. She couldn't tell you an eagle from a maple. Well, even she could probably tell you an eagle from a maple, but still, it's pretty obvious. But I'm
isn't
just,
those coins that are high premium? Isn't that what you always talk about? Those eagles, they're really expensive. Is that what you're talking about?
I think your wife knows more about it than mine. She doesn't care. She truly does not care. Do you, hon?
Not at all.
Not
My
at all.
wife like
See, she said not at all.
my wife likes the 90%.
Yeah.
She thinks that's cool.
Jen wouldn't know
And
what
then
90% is. She said 90% of what?
I kind of, my wife was the same, same way, and she got involved with it more
Didn't
when
you
I
buy her
started.
a couple of collector pieces?
Yeah, I bought her a couple of collector pieces, but she got more involved in it when I started doing auctions.
Yeah. Oh, that's right.
Uh,
Yeah. She was your
Yeah,
assistant.
and then she was like, oh wow, I like that. Oh wow,
Yeah,
oh
because
that's
she saw
cool.
the money that was coming in. She's like,
Yeah,
oh,
yeah,
hey, there's
exactly.
money in this stuff. Ah, I
Yeah,
want in.
and that's what turned her on to it. She's not like, oh, I want this, I want that, or I mean, if I go to a local coin shop, she still sits in the damn car, But you know,
Yeah, Judith
she,
and Dan, just good point. Do the inventory together. on the metals and go through the content price. My spreadsheets have broken it down what I paid for it. I mean, you can't keep adjusting what it's worth now because spot price changes every day. But one of my columns on my spreadsheet is what I paid per ounce. So
Yeah,
at very least, I don't want her going below what I paid for, what I paid into it.
exactly.
So, and Lauren, you didn't start. I don't blame you, brother. I saw all that mess you were going through. I wouldn't have told her a damn thing. She was pure evil, dude. I'm sorry. Poor Lauren. He had a rough one. He had a rough go of it.
What happened?
He just had a rough marriage. I mean, she just turned into a beast on him.
Oh, they all do.
And had she known about silver, she would have taken it. That was how she was. She would have taken it.
Listen,
Or
I
she would have
love
sued it. She would have sued him for it.
I love my wife more than anything. My wife knows 95% about our finances and everything else. But there's that little 5% that nobody knows about. That's just me. That's my little nest egg. I stack cash secretly. She knows about our regular cash savings in the house. But I have a little bag somewhere else where I know where it is, full of cash. Because
Well,
and
I
learned
left just like you. I have that stash. I have my stash cash and I have my stat cash. But the stash cash, I left the box open one day and I was going through some stuff, and she saw it. She's like, "How much money is that?" I said, "I don't know, $5,000. Not that much." She's like, "Oh my god, you have $5,000 in cash." I'm like, "Well, there's more than that in the safe, but yeah."
Yep.
I mean, that's if I have a problem with my car, I don't want to hear it. There is no financing. There is no credit card. Just throw those out the window. I'm paying in cash.
Yep.
I'm not incurring debt on an emergency situation. I refuse.
Yep. Yeah.
And I'm not selling my metals. I refuse to sell a single ounce.
I mean, I told Triple P about it. I said, dude, you got to start stacking cash. And, I don't, fuck, cash is garbage. Why bother? Blah, blah, blah. I'm like, dude, okay, so emergency happens. Because, like you said, Triple P, all your money goes in the metals and your bills, right? And whatever crypto or investments you do. Yes, exactly. I said, okay, your car breaks down. All right, the roof on your house flew off and you need to get a new roof. Medical bills, like what he's going with his son right now. With the insurance companies aren't covering a lot of it, right?
Oh yeah,
I said, so what are you going to do?
They're great at that.
So you're in desperate. Oh yeah. So I said, right now you're going to be in desperate needs if any of those situations happen. Right, you're in desperate needs. You don't got the fiat. So, but you have your investments, you have your whatever land, you have your gold, your silver. So what you're going to have to do is you're going to have to sell it. And you're going to have to sell it quick because you need it right away. So you're going to sell it. You're not going to ask the regular price. You're going to try to, instead of getting 28 an ounce per coin, you're going to end up selling for maybe a little over spot, or maybe spot.
Well, that's
just
exactly
to get some
what
money.
pawn shops. That's what pawn shops prey on. People that need the money
Oh,
now, and they know it. They know you need that damn money, and they're gonna lowball your ass into oblivion.
I said, dude, you're gonna get penalized on it. Just like if you're Roth IRAs, if you cash in before you're 59 and a half, you get penalized. So, dude, stack cash. And you know what? He said, and then I did a video on it, and then the next day he's like, you know what? You're right. You're right, man. I'm gonna start stacking cash, and he has ever since.
JK says he hides cash from himself.
Yeah. No, but honestly, listen, we don't know. People grow apart. You can be in the most loving relationship, have kids, be perfect, be together for 30, 40 years, and then one day you just grow apart and your wife doesn't want to be in it anymore, or you don't want to be in it anymore.
Yeah, I've been there.
Divorce.
I have been there. Everything starts off gangbusters, and 12 years past, 3 kids, and you look at each other like, why are we doing this?
And I'm telling you, divorces get ugly.
No, I was very fortunate with mine. It was totally amicable, and we didn't even have attorneys, dude.
Well, yeah, it's like my first. Well, we weren't married, but we had a kid together. But same thing. Her and my wife are best friends. But all I'm saying is that divorces can get very ugly.
Oh, absolutely.
And the person that you grew with 30 years can turn into a monster that you never knew she had that in her. just because the money signs.
Yep.
And they think they're entitled for everything. So they'll take you for everything and leave you with nothing.
Hey,
So that's why I
speaking of
set the
which,
cash aside.
let's give Jim and his wife a round of applause. 49 years next month. Way to go,
Oh wow!
man.
Congratulations.
That's awesome, dude. That's awesome. I love hearing that. I really do.
That's awesome. Yeah, that's outstanding. And you don't see that much anymore either.
Nah, you really don't. Divorce got easy. That's the problem. People just
Oh
bailed
yeah.
out.
Well, back in the day, in the '60s, '70s, even before then, divorce was a huge no-no.
Oh, it was a taboo. It was taboo.
Everybody knew about it. It got in the newspaper. It got in this. You had to leave town because it would be so looked down upon
Yep.
because it was a marriage between you and your wife and God. It was very sacred, and it still is sacred. If you don't get married if you feel like,
Well,
well,
and
no
I'll
one
tell
knows
you,
the divorce is going to happen, but you
who
know,
really looks down on it is you guys know. Some of you guys know I'm 100% Italian. I was raised Catholic, and some of you guys know the church's stance on divorce. I remember talking to the priest at my church when I was debating it. Because it was a tough decision. I had young kids, and it just wasn't going to be the easiest thing to do. And I wanted to talk to him. I wanted to get his advice on it. You know what he told me? He said, "Don't get a divorce." He said that's looked down upon by the church. And I'm like, but Father, I'm not happy. We got things that have
if I
happened.
don't get a divorce, I'm going to kill her. And
I
how's that going
mean,
to look?
he said the church looks down on divorce. The Catholic Church doesn't believe in it. And I'm like, well, I hate to tell you, but I do. I'm the one living this shit, not them. The Catholic Church isn't living in my marriage. I am. And right now we have hit the wall, and it's only going to get worse. I tried to salvage it for the kids, and it just wasn't working.
Yep.
We didn't want it anymore. We just didn't want it. And we walked away peacefully, amicably. We didn't get lawyers. We didn't do any of that stuff. Now, had I had silver and gold back in the day, might have been a different story. That's why I don't tell Jen what's here. She give me the shoulder. But yeah, so it's tough. But yeah, with your precious metals and so many things you've got to consider: marriage, divorce, death, inheritance, taxes. For God's sake, taxes.
Oh,
I
yeah.
mean, you got to consider that. I mean, when we go to sell and we're selling all this stuff, remember I did a video on that. That video was so confusing to me, and I'm the one that did it. That video had there were more nuances in that video than I could even grasp.
You telling me I watched your video and I misunderstood the guy, and I did a video on Silver Eagles that it was not, you could sell as much as you want, you don't get taxed, and I was wrong.
No, you can buy as many Silver Eagles as you want.
Exactly.
You can buy as many as you want without it being reported.
Yeah.
But if you go to sell, that's a different story.
Yeah.
Uncle Sam's going to stick his little paw out there, and he's going to want his share.
You selling parts. If you feel like,
what was the tax on it? Like 30%?
Oh, it's crazy.
I don't remember what the metals.
I think it was like 20,
28 or capital gains tax was like a ridiculous amount.
So what you do, if you know you're going to sell in the next 5 years, start selling in parts, and when you get that cash, you throw it to the side, and that's how you can dodge the taxes. You sell under 10,000. You know what I mean? You do it in parts, and try to get as much cash deals as you possibly can, and you can dodge the tax. There's ways around it. There's loopholes. There's things you can do. Yeah, would you rather sell it all at once and get one lump sum? Yeah, but you know what? If you're selling in parts, you don't have to pay tax. You can get away with that, and also you can also maximize the worth, because depending on the price, if you're not desperate and you're not trying to sell it all right away, you can put up an Engelhart bar for 400 and wait for someone to grab it. You know what I mean? Versus putting it up for 300. There's things you can do.
Yeah. Judith and Dan said, young people treat marriage like gum. When the flavor is gone, chuck it. To an extent. Here's the thing, though. I don't know if you're referring to my story, but with my story, there was a trust issue and an integrity issue. So I wish I could say it was that simple for my personal situation. But when that trust is broken and the integrity is gone, you can't live like that. You just can't live like that.
The main thing that causes divorce is money and children.
Yep.
And the thing with children, this is what me and my wife do. We have 4 kids, so we have a busy house. 4 young kids. And our lives pretty much revolve around our kids. They're everything to us. But we make sure every week we have our day. We make sure every summer me and my wife just take a little vacation. Even though we do 3 or 4 vacations in the summer with all of us, we do that one out of the 3 for me and her. And we have our time, because if you're living in a house until your kids are out for all those years, then when the kids grow up and go out, there's nothing holding you guys together, because your life revolves around your kids and only your kids. You got to make your wife a priority. She's got to be number one. And then your kids are right there next to her. Because then you're just going to most likely get divorced. Nothing's going to hold you together. And I've seen it happen hundreds of times.
Oh
And
yeah.
then the finance, money is another big thing when it comes to marriage,
Well,
divorce.
money was definitely one with ours, with my first marriage, and we did not agree. She grew up down here in the South. Okay, silver spoon in mouth, got whatever she wanted. Was basically spoiled rotten as a little girl, and you should to an extent spoil your kids. But now me, on the other hand, I grew up in a hard ass house, full of full blooded Italian father, who didn't take any crap, and basically you were never right, and he'd whack you first, ask questions later if he asked at all. So that's how I grew up. Completely different. We were on completely different terms.
I remember
But,
my
so
grandfather.
of course I raised my kids a lot harder than she preferred. I was strict. And she's like, well, they're afraid of you. I said, no, they're not afraid of me. They're afraid that I'm going to follow through on what I told them. You have to have a standard set. If I
Yeah.
tell you, if you do that again, you're going to get whacked. You're going to get a whack on the butt. And I did. They'd get a whack on the butt. You can call it what you will, but it is what it is. Back in the 90s, we disciplined our kids,
Yeah.
and they grew up
My
just fine.
Yeah. My dad, I used to laugh. Well, I didn't used to laugh then, but when I acted up a lot when I was a kid. And my dad always say when we go out to eat or go to the store, before we walk into the store or into the restaurant, he says, "You want me to hit you now or hit you later?" Because he knew he was going to hit me at some point. So get it over with. So hit me now. So get over it, and I be on my best
But here's
behavior.
the
Or
thing, though: when you were
get
going to
your
do
ass
something,
beat.
when you were going to do something bad, didn't you take that into consideration?
Oh hell yeah!
You better
Because I
believe it.
wasn't
Now,
getting,
what? Yeah,
I
you better
wasn't just
believe
getting
it.
the hand. I was getting the belt or whatever was close enough to him to throw at me.
Yep. Now, because of I knew my father wasn't playing around, it made me think twice before I did something stupid. My friends are all out there bashing mailboxes, and I'm sitting there like, yeah, it's probably not a good idea. So it worked. It worked.
Now with my kids, I'm the lenient one. Mommy's the one that lays down the rules. And my kids are spoiled, but I teach them to work for things, to respect the things they get.
You have
Am I
to.
going to go out? My son my son wanted a PlayStation 5. Did I just, I said, I'll buy it for you. No issue. But come back with your report good. You were good in school all year. Do your, if I tell you to clean up your room or you make a mess, clean it up. I'll get you it. I'll get my kids whatever they want. But they gotta be on their best behavior, and they gotta earn it in some way, somehow. And I'm not saying going and make money or do this to make money. Do good in school.
Yep.
Make the right decisions. Don't hit your siblings. Don't back talk to your mom or me when we
That
tell you
that's
to
one
do
thing I
something.
can't take. I cannot take can't take back talk. I cannot handle
Oh
it.
yeah.
Not. And I was in a store today, just today, and this kid, he's a bigger kid. He's like 5 or 6, old enough to know better. He's literally screaming at the top of his lungs because mommy wouldn't let him look at one of the toys. And I'm looking at this kid and I'm looking at the mom, and she just gives me this defeated look and just shakes her head like, I don't know what to do. I'm like, holy
Hmm.
shit.
Yeah. Yeah.
This kid is screaming so loud, everybody on the other end of the store could hear it.
Yeah.
And you're letting them
Oh,
get away with it. And everybody's like, well, I don't want social services to be called and this and that. Don't take my
bullshit.
kid. I'm like,
I
look,
remember.
there's a fine line between discipline and doing nothing.
Yeah. I threatened my dad one time for social services because he hit me. And I was older. I was like 14 or something. He hit me. And I said, I'm going to call social CPS on you.
Yeah.
And he says, good. He says, you call them, but it's going to take them 45 minutes to get here. You're with me for those 45 minutes.
Yeah, just remember that.
And all I did was, swallow my fucking,
Dude, if I would have told my dad I'm calling Child Protective Services, he would have just knocked me out till the lights went out.
Yeah.
I mean, you didn't talk to him like that. You just didn't. He was never in the mood for any of my crap.
Yeah. And
I
another
was a
thing,
pretty good kid. I grew up pretty good. Lauren will tell you, I got my fair share of trouble in school, but
yeah.
I worked hard. I bought my own car. I put my own gas in it, my own insurance. You know, my dad made that possible because he said, I'm not buying you shit. If you want it, you go out and work for it. You're 16. Go get a job. And I did. I worked at Burger King. Burger King put me in a car with gas and insurance.
Yeah. I remember, because my dad and my mom split up when I was young. And I knew when I was getting him pissed off and when to stop, because he would say, boy, I'm going to stomp you flat and send you to your mom. And that was my warning sign. The next after that, and I was lucky if I got a warning sign. The next after that was a smack across the face. And not a hit on the ass. It was a smack across the face. But, that's, you got to be, you can't be too strict with your kids.
No.
But you can't be lenient. Like I say, you can't be a friend. You got to be a father, a dad. You know what I mean? You can't be an asshole, because if you're a strict, hardcore strict, your kid's most likely going to grow up in crime and do drugs. And, now if you're too lenient, they're going to do the same thing. You gotta be in between. I'm strict when you're going to fuck around and act like a fool. But if you're good, you'll get whatever you want. And that's how I do it. Now, it takes me, like I said, it takes me a long time to get mad at my kids. I'm the one I'm laid back, I'm very easy. But when I see them, the things that get me going, like I said, I'm a long wick. It takes me a while to get pissed. But if they back talk to their mom, if they in a store and they feel like they want to fall flat on the ground and cry because I said no to a toy, stuff like that. If they hit their siblings, like the one day, my son Wesley, and he's 2, but he took his dump truck and he smacked my daughter Emma, his twin sister, across the damn head. Now, he's 2. I can't beat the hell out of my 2-year-old son, right? I can't pick him up and slam him against the wall or smack him across the face.
Of course not.
But I picked him up and I threw him in his room, into his bed. I said, you sit here and you think of what you did. And, he was crying and stuff, but you ignore him. And then eventually he comes out and he goes and gives his sister a hug and a kiss. And then I said, okay, you feel better? And I talked to him, you can't do that. And, he's 2. You treat different ages differently.
My dad would just throw hands, ground you for 2 weeks, and never speak to you to the entire 2 weeks, other than to yell more or give you chores out the butt.
Yeah.
So I don't know. That's just the way, everybody grows up differently. But well, looking at the clock, we're at 9:38, and it was a hell of a chat, guys. Hell of a chat.
Yeah, it was a good one. We touched a lot of topics today.
Yeah, we did. Appreciate you guys being out here and just shooting the breeze with us for a little over an hour. We overran, but
I'm gonna throw this in here quick. So, you remember me talking about those IGR bars, right?
Yeah.
If I want to go generic, I go with the IGR bars. Well, listen to this. You know how the IGR 10-ounce bars, they started off as a cast bar, right? And then they went to the press bar. And then they went back to the cast bar. And the ones I have are those the last cast bars they made. Well, I ordered 2 new 10-ounce bars and a kilo IGR bar, 2 new IGR bars. And when I was filming the video today, I was looking at them. They changed them again.
Really?
Yeah, because I was like, I need a couple more IGR bars to add to the IGR stack. And I went to go stack, and I'm like, what? They're different. Like, the lettering was bigger on the new ones, and they were not as wide. Like, they like I went to stack them on top, and they're more chunkier than wider, so it didn't like it was like a total different bar. Like it was, I don't know. I was like, oh really? The last cast ones they did, and I was thinking that's how they were still. They changed them again, but I never seen a mint change their bars as much as IGR.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Constantly switching up. Like every year they make a new batch. They're switching it up. It's weird. I'll have to send you a picture.
Yeah, send me that pic. I'd like to take a look at it.
Yeah.
All right, folks. We're gonna call it. Great stream tonight. Great crowd. A lot of great names in there. The usual folks. A couple of new folks, which is great. And catch us. The next one is not next week. This is a bi-weekly show. We do this every other Wednesday, so catch us then. I've got a video. You can tell them what your schedule is. I've got a video going, premiering tomorrow night, 8:00, 2000 for you vets, Eastern time, and I've got another one on Sunday. The normal schedule, my normal schedule, Thursday and Sunday. Nothing in between. We're done with this for 2 weeks, so we won't see you for 2 weeks on this show. But what you got going on, Patriotic?
Nothing much, man. I got a video I got to do. Like I filmed the one today. I got to probably upload it tomorrow.
All right. Sounds good.
All
right. Look, you guys, everybody be safe out there. We appreciate you. And thanks for coming out and shooting the hell with us. And yeah, that was a good stream.
Yeah, yes, it was.
So you guys stay safe out there, and I'll see you tomorrow night at 8 if you wanna stop by.
Yes, sir.
But yeah, hey, Jack, thank you for being here. Thanks for the referral, SGT.
You guys are awesome.
Yep, great crowd, great community, and I'll see you guys tomorrow at 8 if you want to stop by the channel. But stay safe, be good, and God bless everybody. Good night.
See you guys later. Bye.